For 36 years, a nation waited, and for the greatest player it ever produced, the game kept giving the same cruel answer. A final lost in Rio, when he was forbidden even to touch the trophy he'd come so close to.
Perhaps rewarded as much for his career as for his month just gone. Win Argentina a couple of games all on his own here in Brazil, but he couldn't win them the one he wanted, and he doesn't pick up the prize he really wanted.
2 more finals after that, both surrendered to penalties. Once, the weight grew so heavy that he walked away from the team altogether. The word that haunted Lionel Messi's entire career was always the same: not yet, not yet, not yet. In November of 2022, he came to the Qatari desert one last time, with one last chance to change it. This is the story of those 29 days, the most dramatic World Cup campaign football has ever seen. It began with catastrophe. The opening match, Saudi Arabia, 51st in the world. A formality, everyone said, and it started exactly that way. An early Messi penalty, a calm lead, total control. Argentina even had 3 more goals chalked off for the finest of offside margins. And then, in 5 second-half minutes, it all came apart. 2 Saudi goals, the second a thunderbolt into the top corner, one of the greatest shocks the tournament had ever known. The favorites, a team unbeaten in 36 matches, beaten on the very first day. Not yet. The same word, on the very first page. Now a single defeat would send them home. And the dream of a generation was cracked wide open before it had truly begun. The whole world thought it knew exactly how this old story ended. What followed was a team refusing to die. 4 days later came Mexico, and a must-win match that simply would not break open. 64 minutes of suffocating tension and nothing to show for it, until Messi, from distance, struck a low shot skidding into the corner. Relief poured out of every Argentine in Qatar. Then a goal of pure quality from 21-year-old Enzo Fernandez, and suddenly they were alive again. The final group game brought one last scare, a penalty, Messi's own, saved by the Polish keeper. But 2 second-half goals saw off Poland, and the group was won. From the very brink of elimination, Argentina marched into the knockout rounds, into a tournament where you only lose once. Australia stood between them and the quarter-finals. It was Messi's 1,000th career game, and he marked it the only way the story would allow, a goal of pure class to break the deadlock. Julian Alvarez pounced on an error for the second, and Argentina looked comfortable. Until suddenly, they weren't. A deflected goal pulled Australia back to within 1, and in the dying seconds came a clear chance to level it, met by a sprawling, desperate save from the goalkeeper they called Debu, Emiliano Martinez. Remember the name. The game was only just getting started with him. The quarterfinal against the Netherlands became a war, a gorgeous Messi assist, then a Messi penalty, 2-0, and 10 minutes from the semi-final. It looked finished, but the Dutch refused to lie down. A late header pulled one back, and then, in the very last seconds of stoppage time, the cheekiest free kick routine the tournament had seen. The ball rolled sideways and slammed home, 2-2. The match boiled over into shoving and a blizzard of cards. The most ill-tempered night of the whole competition. Not yet. Once more, on the very edge, it went to penalties, the exact thing that had broken Messi twice before. But this time, Martinez became a wall. 2 saves. Argentina held their nerve and survived into the semi-finals, straight through the fire. And then, against Croatia, everything changed. No chaos, no fear. This was Argentina at the very height of its powers. A thunderous Messi penalty, a driving, unstoppable run and finish from young Alvarez. And then a moment for the ages. Messi, 35 years old and written off by half the world, turning one of the finest young defenders alive completely inside out before laying the simplest of passes on a plate. 3-0, a masterpiece. Lionel Messi was now 90 minutes from the only crown he had never worn. December 18th, The final, Argentina against France, the defending champions, the greatest of his generation against the boy built to replace him, Messi and Kylian Mbappe, and for an hour it was perfect. A Messi penalty, calmly dispatched, then a goal of breathtaking beauty, a flowing, three-touch counterattack, finished by Angel Di Maria, the warrior of so many lost finals, weeping as he ran. 2-0 at halftime. France had not managed a single shot on target. Argentina were not just winning, they were soaring. The trophy was almost in his hands, and that is exactly when the game decided to break every heart in the building. The 80th minute. France had been silent all night, and then Mbappe awoke, a penalty converted, and 97 seconds later, a stunning volley on the half-turb. 2 goals from one man in under 2 minutes. 2-2, the script torn to pieces, extra time, and of course it was Messi who forced them back in front, 3-2, but this final would show no mercy. Another penalty, another Mbappe goal, a hat-trick in a World Cup final, 3-3, after everything, after 36 years. It came down to the one thing that had destroyed him before, penalties. 11 meters, with a World Cup waiting at the end of them. Kylian Mbappe went first and buried it without a flicker of doubt. France ahead. Lionel Messi answered, calm and certain, beating Lloris to level the shootout. Then Kingsley Coman struck, and Emiliano Martinez hurled himself across to keep it out. The first crack in French nerve. Paulo Dybala stepped up and rolled his into the corner. Now Argentina leader's Aurelien Tchouameni rushed his kick and dragged it wide of the post. France had blinked again. Leandro Paredes hammered his down the middle, 3 from 3, and the finish line in sight. Randall Kolo Muani refused to let it end, lashing France's last hope into the net, and then it fell to Gonzalo Montiel. One kick, a nation holding its breath, the whole story narrowing to a single moment. He sent it past Lloris and into history. Argentina, champions of the world. A third star, stitched onto the shirt, Messi, named the best player of the entire tournament. The last argument anyone would ever need. The boy who had once been forbidden to touch the trophy, now lifting it higher than any man before him. And a continent away, millions poured into the streets for the greatest celebration the nation had ever known. Football had taken everything from him. And then, on one impossible night in the desert, it gave him the only thing he had ever truly wanted.